The answer, get this, a smart wall, one that relies on high-tech sensors instead of brick and mortar to monitor illegal border crossings. For more on this, I'm joined by Republican Congressman Will Hurd from Texas. Congressman, good to see you here. I've spent some time doing reporting on the border, and during the Obama administration, they would say it's a three-pronged strategy. They would say they have got the manpower, the technology, and the infrastructure, pointing to things like sensors under the ground, stadium-style lights that they have above. How would this be different?
Well, we don't have enough is the reality. So the district I represent, I have 820 miles of border, more border than any other member of Congress. And in some sectors, like the El Paso sector, which has 300 miles, there's only 60 miles of persistent sensor technology. A lot of that technology is old as well. Where the changes in sensor technology is happening now in 2017, a sensor can be thrown away. You know, it's basically disposable, and we should be using that all along our border. We have the technology to detect a bunny rabbit from a human. We can deploy a drone to understand what the threat is, track that threat, and then deploy our most important resource, the men and women in Border Patrol, to do interdiction. And that process I just described, the majority of that can be done with computer vision, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, which allows us to have the men and women in Border Patrol focus on only the thing they can do, and that's interdiction. So it's a different kinds of technology. We shouldn't just rely on one. Radar is valuable in some areas. LiDAR is more valuable or useful in another area. You know, we shouldn't be wedded to one type of tool. And all of these things I'm describing is a fraction of the cost of building a concrete structure along the border. In the administration's budget, it's $24.5 million a mile. And the smart wall that I've described, we can pay for this for under $500,000 a mile. That's a difference of $24 million. That's a lot of money.
So you would tell the President of the United States we do not need a big, beautiful, concrete, Great Wall of the United States and Mexico?
We don't. Building a wall from sea to shining sea is the most expensive and least effective way to do border security. You know, people are frustrated, right? Because our border is still not secure. We don't have operational control of the 2,000 miles of border. So people are rightly frustrated. But we have to think about the border, all 2,000 miles, at the same time. We can't just focus on one place in one part of the country, because then you're going to see the bad guys are going to adapt and change their tactics, techniques, and procedures.
Right. So if I could just interrupt you real quick. So you're a Republican congressman in a border state, on the border. You got 800 miles of border that runs through your district. Does the president just not get it?
Well, you'd have to ask the president that. I guess we can say former Secretary Kelly at Department of Homeland Security. He got it. He understands this notion of defense in depth, that you have to utilize many different types of tools in order to secure our border. He understands that you already have physical barriers. The Santa Elena Canyon, which is in Big Bend National Park, is already a physical border. 6,000-foot, peak, river, and another 6,000-foot mountain on the other side. There's a lake, Lake Amistad. It's about 30 miles. Building a wall in the middle of a lake is called a dam, and we don't need that. So you can't have a one-size-fits-all solution to border security, and that's been our problem over the last couple of years. And just trying to change what that solution is not a fix. You have to change the strategy and how we stop drugs from coming into our community and folks from coming here illegally.
All right, as always, the reality of the facts on the ground different from the campaign rhetoric. Really interesting to hear you talk about this. Congressman Will Hurd of Texas, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Congressman Will Hurd. I just want to say thanks for watching. Click subscribe below if you want to get updates on new clips. And I'm interested to hear what you think about what you just saw, so leave us a comment.